If I if I were a sculptor, I would be an awesome creator, satisfying the mystified eyes. With what lies in the skies, an unparalleled masterpiece chiseled bit by bit and piece by piece. If I were a painter, each aligned brushstroke would be a reminder of just how exceptional you truly are. The color palette would be endless by far, and the imagination would be full of limitless colors of infatuation. If I were a writer, every alphabetic letter, each syllable, every noun and verb would be gullible, just as I am when it comes to your cadence. What a stunning entrance. If I were a singer, I would have a tough time choosing which range to bring her. See, because my tenor mannerisms mixed with my sopranos and altos euphemisms, blending into a four-part harmony while my baritone ushers in matrimony. If I were a musician, I would be an orchestrated love technician, guiding her soul into a different kind of entanglement, one that would yield no resentment, rather being driven to unbridled passion while she blows on my bass in the soul session. If I were a student, I would study her chemistry, and it would be evident that I'm yearning for an A. My studying skills have been sitting on a Bunsen burner night and day. Her textbook had some missing pages that I sought through many different passages. If I were a masseuse, I'd massage out the wrinkles of broken hearts and misuse. Oil the scalp of your reasoning, blending my palms into your skin's melanin seasoning. Use baby oil to accentuate every curve while bathing in your emotions, all in a milk bath to calm your nerves. If I were just a melody, she would be somebody that my rhythms would connect with. My quartet of notes would end and begin with just a tune in time of her. I could vibe to her forever. I love you. I love you. If
I could count the number of times that I've said that I'm tired, just tired, of the setbacks, the sadness, the tears, the disappointments, and yes, the liars. I've probably already traveled through the universe through infinite dimensions while still trying to figure out each calculations of my journey's intention as I search for life's purpose and attempt to understand the lessons, cognizant enough to wake up before any self-oppression. Wake up and discover that being tired is just a beginning that has no definitive ending. All I gotta do is rise up and remember, I'm winning. Acknowledge the sadness so I can continue grinning. Allow the tears to flow until they start thinning. Regard disappointments as part of daily living. One can't stop the lies from spinning, but I can look into one's eyes and be forgiven. And as long as I don't let any of it bring me to exhaustion, and I exhibit caution, protect my mind and heart, being tired is just not enough to tear me apart.
As the sun rises in the east, I walk towards it as an old sage that used to cover his eyes at the sight of it as a child. Without headphones, that same saxophonic beat rumbles through my mind as I stand on the same street corners with former ghetto hustlers, listening to their OG stories. On the corner where brothers used to sing songs like the Stylistics before they performed at the Apollo. And I watch the next generation of today's hip-hop verses listening, respectfully waiting their turn to be grown when they can give those same versions of those same stories. I walk this desert in hopes of getting a chance to speak to the wise men that give worldly advice over chessboard pieces that are chiseled to look like the kings and queens we used to be when we were free. Still giving elderly advice to those of who need to be. But notice how he still has on that same dashiki while speaking in Swahili. I walk next to a panther that only looks at me as we walk in pace, but it never growls. and lets the world know how powerful we really are, then disappears before I actually get to the corner. Walking past an empty park, I see the faces of the latest jazz tune, smiling at each other through the solo sound of a Zulu drum merged with mild, slow tunes as it merges with the laughter of elderly women that used to be maids that now share a sip of sun tea, while hopscotch double dutch receives the chuckles as groups of Quranic messengers sound as poetic as their tears begin to feed the souls of a people thought to be long forgotten. Walking past the honorable mention of the young street soldier's candlelight vigil, hoping that his life served as a message that it didn't have to be. You see, I want to be the melody in between the strum of the bass before the next string is touched by poetry. I want to sink words into that sound that you hear in between the keys of the piano that you can't wait to hear. I want to give hope to your soul under a kente sky, reminding young poets that dreams are not REM sleep auditions. I want to pour thoughts of positive possibilities into your consciousness while wiping away the tears in the bullseye off the foreheads, backs, and hearts of these whom we call our children. And as I hear the whispered words from the souls of our ancestors that paved these streets, I find myself tuning out the rest of the world as it whisks by, and I stand alone, listening to those old souls of our ancestors that guide me.
President initially thought it was a joke. Corporations canceling events, starting to go broke. Churches, they're starting to lose hope. Conspiracy theorists saying, stay woke. Call Corona an epidemic. Call COVID-19 a pandemic. Everyone can relate because the world is dealing with it. Just because we have to distance ourselves socially, that doesn't mean we can't speak. Schools are closed, but that doesn't mean we can't teach. Churches are closed, but that doesn't mean we can't preach. Nobody said it would be easy, but this is defeat. And if we somehow find a way to come together, we will never see defeat. Easier said than done, but if you can alter your mind, the best lessons are learned after the toughest times. And after the darkest times, the sun starts shining. And eventually, you'll find your silver lining. Stay safe. Keep the faith. Poetically correct.
All right, Quentin, I'm doing this one for you, love. It's a freestyle by Gina Storm. I'm simply titling this piece, Half of a Century. On December 23rd, 2019, I turned 50. I received my card from AARP. I was thrilled to have lasted and lived half a century. At 27, when I was diagnosed with lupus, I was told that I would be lucky to see 30. When my becoming a woman didn't start until I was 17, my gynecologist at the time told me I'd be lucky if I had children. October 19th, 2020, my daughter turned 29. So I'm happy to say that motherhood is something that I can actually say belongs to me. Yes, I'm among that number, and it's mine. I'm thrilled, ecstatic. As a matter of fact, living for half a century for me didn't seem like it was going to happen, and I don't think that it's simply Batgirl magic. No, I'm doing what I'm supposed to because God had a plan for me that nobody else is supposed to understand. Nobody knows the time or the place or the date. So I've been living my love, living my life, living my legacy for every day that has been gifted to me. I felt like from the time that I turned 31 until I actually achieved 50, that those were bonus years that weren't due to me. The reality is this: the break that you're waiting on is you. The life that you want to have is yours. Speak things into existence and believe that it's not a chore. It's like having faith coupled with works. I live my life in the light, and I'm golden every day, even if it hurts. Just because I have lupus doesn't mean that I am disabled. No, that's just on paper, you see. But the reality is I am shining brightly, glowing, and continuously being me. I do these things because I must, not because I want to, because I'm an inspiration to so many. Every day, I aspire to inspire. Sit back, watch, learn from me. I'm doing this because it's a necessity. And the reason that I do so is because it is a necessity. The key is this: I can only be me. And I'm happy to be half a century. I'm Gina Storm. Thank you for indulging me. In peace.
This is a piece I call Brown Sugar Love Jones. Go like this. Thought it was you and I, just forget the other guy. Allow my eyes to look inside while your heart is open wide. Provide you with mystery and replay our history. Remember kissing me as I caressed your body. Touch on moments where there were no dark days. All the times you were afraid, I moved them all away. While your smile was kept beautiful instead of miserable. As we walked around, I saw a different man hitting on you. Only by a stare and a look. I moved you closer. When your girlfriends had you doubting me, I rebuilt my motor. Ran with an exquisite living purpose of being. Brought to life your dreams, yet they had you scheming. So I turned into a soldier of love and found another who could open up a window and look inside of her lover. No longer on standby, I rise like no other. Goodbye. Wipe the tears from your eyes, we gave it a good try. To be so in love with you and always so comfortable. Amazing and wonderful that you allowed me to know you. Our worlds are so personal, can't ever stop thinking about the time I'm in the house on my couch inside a drought. So I pray maybe one day you receive my special Mayday, sending a signal to the shore. I reside in North Cape May, waiting for the beacon of light to shine upon me. Meet you at a destination with my lovely angel army. Music and love are so well combined together, as if affection and intimacy bring forth sunny weather. Good vibes and prosperity of existing in great moments. This is my open letter, written by me, the chosen poet.
This is Nicole R. Brookins, and I am here to recite a poem I've entitled Gambling Heart. Gambling Heart. First things first, let me put all the cards onto the table. I must confess to you what thoughts encompass my mind. Although I'm a little hesitant of the way you could respond, it's necessary that I continue. Because I consider the various moments shared, and I come to realize that I don't want them to end. No, I don't covet all of your time. However, I do wish that you could offer a small fragment of it without a request. There's no way to explain how I feel when you're around, or how you always seem to create a smile on my face, as well as my heart. Sometimes I sense that I'm somewhat selfish though, because when you're near, I'd rather not see you depart from me. But I understand when you pull away and are cautious of being with me. I suppose it's because some of your past relationships let you down. Just realize that I'm not here to hurt or crush you. I only hope to enhance your life by being there when you might need an attentive listener, or maybe a shoulder or body to lean on. I desire to touch your deepest feelings and cast rays of light over all the darkness you've ever felt. So permit me to stroke your intellect, soothe your physical needs, and cradle your emotions as if they were mine. In effort to heal any ache that's been placed on your heart before, let me take on the role as your physician. I can prescribe the medicine for your cure. Allow me to be your masseuse, so I can massage away the previous pain. Wait, I must pause to acknowledge that I may be a little forward by sharing my sentiments or somewhat premature in my approach. If I am, please forgive me and accept my most sincere and profound apology. But in the event that you don't feel as I do, take note that I do not retreat or give up so easily. Knowing this, make sure that your escape route is thought out carefully, and be warned, because I intend to form a blockage and put you under siege, at least until you surrender your heart to me.
You are majestic. And I'm not just referring to your ability to hypnotize my yoni with phallic reasoning that twists and turns and ties my tongue, causing me to garble speech and point my toes towards the ceiling. You are magnetic, and I am drawn to your polar opposite, unable to resist the pull of your all-consuming waves of prolific proliferation that gently persuade my back to arch and reach for your pot of gold. You are so magnificent. And I hereby anoint you with a goddess within me, simply because you are deserving of my power, gifted through ancestral divinity. And when I gaze into your eyes, the only words I can think of are Ashe, Ashe, Ashe.
Opposing sides. Broke up, broke down, torn up, torn down, lifted and gifted to be let down, brought up, never to look down on anyone, toward the ground, head up, shoulders back, good, bad, and evil, the brightest of bright to pitch black, love and hate, destroy and create, pleasure, pain, losses and gains, plus and minus, the wetness, the dry, just to smile instead of cry, more often than none, unfinished, not done, to live or to die, to fall or touch the sky. Opposing sides.
You got that sun shining in the noonday, waves crashing upon the shore type love. You got that food cooking all day since morning, being on the plate at 6 p.m. in the evening type love. You got that fresh kicks laced just right, hoodie just so, smooth faced, new car smell type love. You got that old soul, futuristic rhythm and blues, funkadelic, jazzy, boom, pat, tap, boom, pap type love. You got that taste like chocolate, liquid gold like honey. You be making me full, but still keeping me hungry with all that good type love. You got that spiritual cleansing type love. You be like white candles and sage, lavender and incense, smelling like the temples of India type love. You got that soothing type love. You be like massages all over my body. You just be rubbing my scalp and oiling my strands and pulling my hair type love. You got that turn down the lights and arch it just so. I mean, take it, just take it type love. And we be like co-star, director, and producer in this bitch type love. You got that making me want to explore and discover how to be your best friend, your only lover, and our child's mother type love. You got that creators of our universe shooting comets across the sun, kissing upon the moon type love. You be like speaking my mind and touching every beat of my heart type love. It be like you are me and I am you, cannot tear us apart type love. We be like past, present, and future, and infinite type love.